As part of Flood Safety Awareness Week, the National Weather Service in Burlington, Vermont encourages everyone to be aware of the dangers from flooding and take time during this week to review flood threats and flood safety practices. In this presentation, we'll review the hydrological and flooding-related products that the National Weather Service in Burlington, Vermont produce and issue. It's important to be aware of these products, as flooding is one of the most deadly and damaging weather hazards to affect the U.S. every year. From 1995 through 2011, flooding caused more fatalities than tornadoes. Of those fatalities, the majority occurred while the person was driving into flooded areas. The Northeast is vulnerable to flooding year-round, from ice jam flooding in the winter to flash flooding from thunderstorms in the summer. It's important to know where flooding is likely to occur, what evacuation routes are available, where to find the most up-to-date information, and what it means. National flood fatality rates average about 94 fatalities per year. In Vermont alone, about one-third of all weather-related fatalities are from flooding. Flooding also occurs or causes immense property damage, costing an average of $7.82 billion in the U.S. The National Weather Service offers several hydrologic products from watches and warnings to observations and outlooks. The National Weather Service issues flood warnings for flooding of small rivers and streams as a result of prolonged heavy rainfall and/or snowmelt. Here's an excerpt of a flood warning issued for an ice jam affecting the Malone, New York area. There are two types of flood warnings: aerial and river. Aerial flood warnings are issued when general or aerial flooding of streets, low-lying areas, urban storm drains, creeks, and small streams are occurring, imminent, or highly likely. Flood warnings are issued for flooding that occurs more than 6 hours after the excessive rainfall. These warnings are issued on a polygon basis and are generally in effect for 6 to 12 hours. River flood warnings are issued when the water level at a river forecast point along a main stem river is expected to reach or exceed flood stage. The warning will provide a brief description of what the flood stage means, such as roads that will be covered or impassable due to floodwaters. In the image here, you can see all the river forecast points as the green and gray markers. Flash flood warnings are issued when rapid rises in water levels over a short period of time will result in flooding. Below is an excerpt of a flash flood warning issued for heavy rainfall near the Ticonderoga, New York area. The causative event of flash flooding can be from very heavy rainfall over a period of a few hours, dam breaks, or ice jams. Within the National Weather Service Burlington County warning area, most flash flood warnings occur in the warm season from heavy rainfall due to training thunderstorms. The top image shows the damage left behind after a flash flood occurred due to very heavy rainfall in July 2007 in the Barry-Stockbridge area. The lower image shows an ice jam which has heaved large chunks of ice onto land, engulfing and damaging trees. Other products to alert the public to flooding potential are Flash Flood Watch, and Flood or Flash Flood Statements. A Flood Watch or Flash Flood Watch is issued to indicate current or developing hydrologic conditions that are favorable for flooding or flash flooding in and close to the watch area, but the occurrence is neither certain nor imminent. At river forecast points, these watches indicate the possibility of flooding typically within a 6 to 48 hour time frame before the event, at specific forecast points along rivers and streams. Here's an example of a flash flood warning that was issued on May 29, 2012. With some exceptions, most National Weather Service severe weather and flood warnings tend to follow a similar format. Warning text will first contain information on what type of warning is being issued and for which parts of counties are included in the specific warning. What time the warning is in effect until will follow. Next, we have the warning basis portion. Generally, this contains the what, when, and from where, and why. In other words, information that prompted the warning. You'll also see some selected locations in the warning, including cities, towns, or other geographic references that may be familiar or recognizable. Finally, you'll see what are called call to action statements, which are actions that should be taken to protect your life and property. Along the main stem rivers, such as the Lamoille, Winooski, and Ausable rivers, there are river gauges which measure the water level. Based on historical data, these points are designated different stages. Action stage. This is the level which users need to take some type of mitigation action in preparation for possible flooding. Minor flood stage. Minimal or no property damage, but possibly some public threat, such as field flooding. Moderate flood stage. Some inundation of structures and roads near stream. Some evacuations may be required. Major flood stage. Extensive inundation of structures and roads. Significant evacuations of people and/or transfer of property to higher elevations. You can see current observations, river stages, and forecasts for points along our main stem rivers at our office's Advanced Hydrologic Prediction Service website, listed at the bottom of this slide. Simply point and click on a colored icon to see more information about that particular river gauge. Every day, the National Weather Service issues the Daily River and Lake Summary, which contains the current or observed river stage, referenced flood stage, and forecast river stages. To the right is an example showing forecasts for points along the Passumpsic, Winooski, Missisquoi, and other river or lake basins. For a further look into the future, the National Weather Service issues a winter-spring flood potential outlook. This product provides an in-depth look at long-term forecasts for flooding, allowing for a long lead time. It gives users lead time to consider response options, execute mitigation activities, and plan reservoir operations. Here's an excerpt from one of our outlooks to the right. River forecast centers, a part of the National Weather Service, are regionalized centers that specialize in hydrologic analysis and forecasting and work with the weather forecasting offices within its hydrologic surface area to accurately forecast precipitation amounts, runoff, and changes in river and stream levels, as well as the amount of precipitation it will take to cause flooding. Here in the North Country, we coordinate with the Northeast River Forecast Center, located in Taunton, Massachusetts. Here's a quick overview of the Northeast River Forecast Center's website. It has a plethora of information available. The URL for this site is located on the bottom left of this slide. Some of this information follows. The first tab contains information on current river conditions and forecasts. On the second tab, you can view their quality-controlled observed precipitation amounts. You can also see a 48-hour forecast of precipitation across the Northeast states in the Forecast Precipitation tab. And the Snow Water Equivalent tab includes a map, the observed amount of liquid in the snow on the ground. Thanks for watching this presentation of National Weather Service hydrologic products. For more information, visit us on the web at www.weather.gov/Burlington. Like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter at @NWS Burlington.